Speaking of gratitude, 3 guys are stranded in the desert, and by a stroke of luck, they find a magic genie lamp. They rub it, and the genie comes out and says each of them gets 1 wish. So the first guy says, I wish I could go back home. Poof, wish granted. Second guy says, me too, I wish I could go back home. Poof, wish granted. Third guy sits there for a minute. He says, wow, I don't know. He said, I'm not really sure. I need some help deciding. I wish my friends were here to help me. Poof, they're back. I have those kind of friends. Some of them. Well, today I do want to talk about expressing thanksgiving. The Bible encourages us to have a thankful heart. There's beautiful language in Psalm 69. I will praise the name of God with a song, and I will magnify him with thanksgiving. There's just a natural rising up in the heart of giving thanks. Psalm 95, let us come before his presence with thanksgiving and make a joyful noise unto him with psalms. The word psalm also means song. Let's sing that heartfelt gratitude. Psalm 100, enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him and bless his name. We just feel the vibration of that word. I once came across an African proverb that says, even the hen lifts her head toward heaven when swallowing her grain. Isn't that beautiful? Even the hen lifts her head toward heaven when swallowing her grain. Thanksgiving is woven into the very fabric of our being, into our lives and into our nation. It was founded early on. The founding was part of giving thanks. And in preparing our message, I went back to kind of remind myself of the Pilgrim story. I haven't heard it really since maybe 4th grade or something, and so I thought it would be a good idea to recall it for us. In 1620, 102 pilgrims had come to the continent to build a new world where they could be free to worship God as they wanted to. 56 died of starvation, disease, and the cold winter. However, they didn't give up. And in 1621, 46 pilgrims and 91, it said Indians, I guess now we say Native Americans, meant to give thanks for their bountiful harvest and for the preservation of their lives. They had every reason to be discouraged because they were under really harsh circumstances, but they chose to give thanks, making Thanksgiving really a foundational part of our nation, of our country. And 2 years later, in 1623, Governor Bradford issued a proclamation establishing that there would be a day of Thanksgiving. So 1623. He declared, this was his declaration, listen to what what they were thankful for. Inasmuch as the great Father has given us this year an abundant harvest of Indian corn, wheat, peas, beans, and garden vegetables, and has made the forest to abound with game, and the sea with fish and clams, and he has protected us from the ravages of the wilderness, has spared us from pestilence and disease, has granted us freedom to worship God according to the dictate of our conscience. I proclaim this day a day for rendering thanksgiving to Almighty God for all his blessings. So peas and corn and wheat and freedom of disease and pestilence. And I don't think our lives are any different today, although we can fast forward now almost 400 years. And we now have 60-foot high balloons floating above packed city streets in New York. We have cranberries that are cooking on the stove. We have inside the turkey stuffing and outside the turkey stuffing. How many are inside turkey stuffing people? Yeah, all right. We have mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie, football, lots of football, huge turkeys, tofu turkey. What is that called? Tofurkey. And one extremely lucky pardoned bird, right? Then we sit down to the Thanksgiving table, And we ask that time-honored question, at least maybe it's a tradition in your family. We ask, what am I thankful for this year? Right? What am I thankful for this year? And with full tummies, our hearts remember all of the blessings that are in our lives. And it's a moment that makes Thanksgiving magical. And it transforms everything in the room. I think it's one of the best ideas we've ever come up with. If you don't have it as a practice, a tradition in your family, just, bless the meal and then say, as you're having your meal, what are you thankful for? And go around the table and share that. Although this year, I'm tipping that inquiry into a slightly different direction. This year, instead of asking, what are you thankful for? This year, what if we asked, when are you thankful for? It's not even grammatically correct. It's a little bit weird, but it's an important point that's central to our faith and to our lives. It demonstrates the power of gratitude to draw goodness into present moment living. When I'm thankful for love, I immediately experience love. So it has the power to draw whatever we're affirming immediately into our lives. Now, when I caught this idea, I Googled physics and Thanksgiving, because I know how you all love Phil's physics and science and medicine and everything. I thought, well, what do the physicists say about the power to give thanks and its creativity? And I could share a lot of words today about Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity and how it relates to this idea of when we give thanks. When am I thankful for? The general relativity supports the idea that all time exists simultaneously, which means that lovely speech you're going to give at the Thanksgiving table in 2021 has already happened, or depending on how you look at it, it's happening now, and it's happening all the time. Then I learned that the theory of relativity is not the whole story, because for at least the last 70 years, the scientists have been trying to mesh relativity with quantum mechanics, and they're still working on that, right? They're still working on that. So I could tell you all about physics today, and relativity, the theory of relativity, and the mystery of time. But I don't need to go into all of that, unless you really want to hear it. But we're here because we believe in the omnipresence of God, that we are one with Spirit, and as Marty said in his meditation, we can never get outside of that. There is no outside to God. That we live and move and have our being in the instant, constant, abundant essence of God. And so we believe that whether we have a PhD in physics or not. So when we consider saying when we are thankful for, it does something very interesting. It brings our attention and our awareness to the understanding that it collapses space and time. When I am thankful for something, I am instantly in that something. When I am thankful for immediately brings us and the energy of what we're thankful for into the present moment. Now this deals with the level of consciousness that enables us to see things from a higher perspective, to see from the omnipresence of God, to see the creative intelligence that we're streaming, as we say as we're releasing into our lives. And we recognize that we're giving thanks not after the fact, after something has happened, but we're just tweaking that and reversing that to understand that Thanksgiving is a creative force. Thanksgiving is a change maker. Thanksgiving is an agent for change. It has transformative power. That which we give thanks for is changed forever. Is changed by the power of our mind and by what's ignited in the power of gratitude when we speak it. So when we're thankful for, and I have to keep looking at my notes to say that because it's awkward to say it. When we're thankful for, whatever good we name, it has the power to transform it into a now present spiritual reality. Are you with me? When I'm thankful for love, I transform that into love. When I'm thankful for my loving family, I immediately experience the love of my family, don't I? I'm collapsing space and time and going right into the reality, into the moment. When I'm thankful for love, I immediately experience the ever-present reality of love. We have to have it in us in order to release it, to flow it from us. When I'm thankful for my health, whether I'm healthy or not, when I'm thankful for my health, that gratitude immediately shifts my physiology, and I instantly set in motion in my body the ever-present reality of life. When I'm thankful for a healthy body, my gratitude unleashes a spiritual enzyme that awakens the spiritual faculty of life and begins its flow in my body. And that's what I said before the service started when we talk about the collective consciousness in this room. We're just immersed in it and we're sitting in it, and it's impacting and influencing us even as we are sitting here. When giving thanks for is about combining the expectation in your mind of what you're thanking with the power of your heart. And when you blend your mind and your heart, you have the most creative force in the universe. Mind, thinking, and feeling combine to give birth to anything. It's the most powerful mechanism of creation we can employ. So what happens when we give thanks for something is we create a mind mold or an idea in our imagination. We create a mind mold for something good. And then through the power of a grateful heart, that good is spiritually quickened. It's united. That vision and that love, that idea and that love is united, spiritually quickened, and it's drawn to us like a magnet. Like a magnet. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, in the book The Essential Charles Fillmore, written by Jim Gaither, one of my instructors in ministerial school, he says, he's quoting Mr. Fillmore here, "We all need a better understanding of the nature of God if we are to comply with the laws under which God creates. We must begin by knowing that God is spirit. Spirit is not located in a big man called God, but it is everywhere the breath of life and the knowing quality of mind, active in and through all bodies, over all, through all, and in all." So spirit is, we have to begin by knowing, spirit is over all, in all, and through all. The highest form of prayer is to open our minds and quietly realize that the one omnipresent intelligence knows our thoughts and instantly answers even before we have audibly expressed our desires. So this one that's in you but not of you, greater than you, knows everything about you. They're closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. This being true, we should ask and at the same time give thanks. There's the creative power. We should ask and at the same time give thanks that we have already received. Jesus expressed this idea in Mark 11:24. "Therefore I say to you, all things whatsoever ye pray and ask for, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." Before he broke the miraculously multiplied loaves and fishes and fed the 5,000, what did he do? He looked up to heaven and gave thanks. When he raised Lazarus from the dead, he said, "Father, I" what? "Thank thee that thou hast heard me and that thou hearest me always." We observe that all things, now this is Mr. Fillmore, we observe that all things come out of the formless, but our knowledge of the formless is so limited that we do not conceive of its infinite possibilities. When we're thankful for, and when we are thankful for, and we think that and speak that into the all-potential ethers of spirit. Remember Mr. Fillmore always talked about the ethers? That's that spiritual essence that's everywhere present. When we speak what we're thankful for into the omnipresent ethers of spirit, there is always an unfailing effect. So you just can know the power of what you're releasing is already present. You're just utilizing what's available in spirit and speaking it to feel it and demonstrate it in your life. Do not beg or do not supplicate or beg God to give you what you need, but get still and think about the inexhaustible resources of infinite mind, its presence in all its fullness, and its constant readiness to manifest itself when, there's that when again, when its laws are followed or complied with. Don't beg God for what you need, but get still and think about the inexhaustible resources of infinite mind, its presence in all its fullness, its constant readiness to manifest itself when its laws are followed. So when we give thanks for, we have put ourselves in alignment with Spirit, in alignment with the omnipresence of God. The spiritual attribute of gratitude is considered an aspect of the universe that deals with movement and the flow of energy. And so as we give out that idea of gratitude, that energy becomes magnetized to the very current that we're putting in circulation. And it's important to recognize that gratitude is a universal idea, but it functions in a closed circulatory system. No man is an island, none goes his way alone. All that I send out into the lives of others comes back into my own. Gratitude is a closed circulatory system, an omnipresent idea, but it functions as a current. And when we give thanks for, we step into that current, we initiate that current, we're in the flow of that current, however you want to think about it. The old adage is, where your attention goes, the energy flows, right? Where your attention goes, the energy flows. So the more good that you can see in your mind's eye, the more good you can praise, the more you are directing and releasing that creative energy to positive results. So it's important to name the good that's already in you, already present within you, and praise it. Because when we're thankful for what is already in us, in consciousness, as it flows out, it's unified with or touches that field of all potentiality of the Christ. It's coming from that field, that omnipresent field of the Christ. And it ignites, we don't know what, a mystical ingredient that then magnifies and draws, magnetizes to us the very good. And it makes life good and very good and then expansively good. Because gratitude is a power that magnifies, multiplies. When giving thanks for, it is about combining the expectations of the mind and the power of the heart. The most powerful combination of creativity you can use or participate in. Now, not only does gratitude act as a spiritual agent that expands everything it touches, but I love this, when I heard this line, the first time I ever heard it, gratitude perfumes your heart. Don't you know it? Can't you feel it? I mean, isn't that true? When you are thankful, it just oozes this fragrance of love. It perfumes the heart, and its beauty works in every area of life. So now, let's apply this, let's get practical and apply this to our everyday life. When I'm thankful for sitting in traffic, When I'm thankful for sitting in traffic, I can recognize that I can be thankful for that. And that if gratitude is the energy of movement and the movement of mind, I can give thanks. I can shift my ideas to, I can give thanks for slow enough to have a few moments of personal reflection or prayer. It's slow enough to be able to crank up the radio and rock out to my favorite song that's playing, right? There's so many great things that can happen when you're driving in traffic. You're not speeding ahead to an accident because you're not paying attention and you're distracted. You're not going to get pulled over for speeding, although I did get a ticket in traffic once. It was shocking. I changed lanes, and I evidently drove over a marked thing that you're not supposed to change lanes in. And the cop was driving right behind me. He put the light on and pulled me over. There's almost no place to pull over. There was so much traffic. I said, "You're kidding me." He said, "Didn't you see those lines?" I said, "What lines?" Anyway. What lines? I was grateful. Yeah, I was really grateful. I thought he was making it up. I asked for his badge number. I said, let me have your badge number. He goes, "You want my phone number too?" I said, "No, just your badge number. That'd be sufficient. What's your supervisor's name?" And I got my little thing in the mail, and my ticket had been dismissed. Oh. So there's a tip for you. If you get pulled over. All right, so give thanks that you're on time and that you're in divine order, and you will be. How about when you're thankful for test results that you're waiting for? Test results that you're waiting for. You give thanks for life and health that's flowing in and through you. You give thanks that the life and health that is in you, and it circulates around and brings back perfect results. How about when you're thankful for the call that confirms your new job? You're in the flow of spiritual qualities of loving service and making meaningful contributions somewhere, and you're getting the job. It's just fabulous. When you're thankful for help, help arrives. When you're thankful for prosperity, prosperity arrives. It's a universal law. So we want to train our minds to keep the energy flowing by staying in a consciousness of seeing with our spiritual eyes, seeing from omnipresent spirit. Just as Jesus says, ask and at the same time give thanks for what we've already received. Perfect health tests, perfect job, no speeding ticket, whatever it is. So the principle is, when I am thankful for thus and so, I acknowledge that I already have it in me and that it's flowing from me, and then I experience it. It's just that simple. Now, collapsing that down into, instant collapsing space and time is what that does when you work with it. Gratitude is a spiritual quality that is naturally built into our souls. And so I like to give myself a quick and easy way to live with it by memorizing a few phrases that quicken my consciousness so that I call it in my quick speak vocabulary. When I am thankful for love, I am love, and love is magnetized in my life. When I am thankful for peace, I am peace, and I function from the calm poise of the Christ mind. When I am thankful for joy, I am joy, and happiness flows in me, from me, and all around me. So you can take a couple of quick ones like that. Just when I am thankful for love, I am love. When I am thankful for peace, I am peaceful. When I am thankful for joy, I'm happy. And it's instantaneous. It collapses that. You can be sad about something, and wait a minute, when I'm thankful for joy, I am joy, and you can feel it move in you. This is a spiritual practice. And as you work with it, you'll learn to give thanks not only at the Thanksgiving dinner table for what you've already received, because that's all about what's in the past, right? What's already been manifest in your life, and we're grateful for it. But what about everything that's in front of your life, that's yet to come, that's yet to be created? When I am thankful for will give you the power to create an unbelievably wonderful life. So, giving thanks from what's already inside you, you'll see it beautifully magnified in your experience. This week, I invite you to practice giving thanks until it becomes a way of life. Until you become like the little bird in the African proverb that even the hen lifts her head toward heaven when swallowing her grain. That's how automatic we want to feel it in our lives. All right, so let's seal this. Take a moment and seal this in prayer. Just drop into your heart space and hold the idea of thankfulness, gratitude. We know in truth that what we give our attention and belief to becomes our experience. We've just heard that in the lesson today. And so take a moment to focus your attention on what you would like to see for yourself and for your life. And give thanks for the realization that right now you are that. As we count our blessings this holiday season, we give thanks that we are increasingly aware of how blessed we are. And we build into our consciousness that attitude of gratitude. My life is blessed in ways I never dreamed possible. It's a beautiful affirmation. My life is now blessed in ways I never dreamed possible. I practice waking up each day with an expectation of good. And thank you, God, for this reminder, this opportunity to be in the omnipresent Spirit. And so it is. Together we all say, Amen.